everybody, welcome to the Geek Fighters' first episode of the Suikoden playthrough for PlayStation 1. Suikoden 1, the game based off the legend 108 Stars of Destiny from Chinese legend or history. I forget if it's an actual historical thing or just a legend. Either way, it's based off of that. There was a cool Kung Fu movie, and of course, there's a line of RPGs that Konami forgot about.
Sadly, yeah.
Yeah, supposedly.
With me and on the controller is Double RPG.
The day of destiny has arrived, and as ironic as they call the 108 Stars of Destiny in the Suikoden games, you know, that join your rebel army. So yes, that's what we're gonna play today is Suikoden, and for it being in Chinese, being a Chinese legend, guess what else is a Chinese legend? Journey to the West.
Yep.
Hey.
Yeah,
that's
and
why
Japan loves using that too.
Yeah, talk about cultural appropriation, huh, guys?
Yep.
But anyways, and the one who's not on the controller, and the other
is.
Hello, everyone. I'm 16-bit Jeff.
And hello, Brent for Life. Welcome to the stream. And,
welcome to the stream and our first episode.
And Bad Gamers on the is in the chat too.
Awesome, welcome, man.
And Brent for Life, we will definitely follow you. So if you want to follow us now, you are more than welcome to right at this time. We always enjoy followers, man. So go right ahead.
Good news, guys. My channel is auto-hosting us, so we are all good on my end.
Yes, and my channel is auto-hosting as well. So
good.
Yes. Good. All right, so let's go ahead and get this puppy started with getting the game live. You know, there was actually a manga series for Suikoden 1 and 2, as well as 3.
I think I remember seeing the third one.
Yeah,
I think I do too. Yeah.
Yeah, the manga for both the first and second game, they're a bit more obscure, but the third one was more mainstream. But they actually did have specific names for the main characters too. Well, specifically the main character who you play as.
Right.
Like, they call him Tyr, T-I-R, for the main character in this game, whereas in Suikoden 2, the main character is named Ryo, and they spelled it R-I-O-U.
Those sound like Japanese names for what's supposed to be Chinese people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there was a cool Kung Fu movie. It was called The Water Margin, which is what Suikoden would translate to. Den is, I believe, short for just Densetsu, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Which is legend. Legend of the Water Margin.
That's the news. Thank you very much, Jeff.
Yeah, and Alex, just so you know, the Suikoden 1 and 2 manga, like I said, they're very, very obscure, and they're really not that well known. They were more like they were like those mangas that only have like a few chapters or something. So they didn't have a multitude of chapters like what Suikoden 3 had as a manga series.
Oh, since we're playing a PlayStation Classic today, known as Suikoden, what are you guys' thoughts about no PSX this year?
Oh boy.
I was looking forward to us trashing that.
Yeah, exactly. Me too.
Yeah, but let me guess, because of the trash heap that was last year's PSX as well as this year's E3 from Sony. I agree, but
yeah, I was kind of hoping to hear more about what they had to say about Medieval Remastered, but we didn't hear squat.
You know, I forgot who brought it up on Twitter, but I do think that was a PR spin because they had literally nothing last year.
Yeah.
But it was something that Sean Layden said this year that really made me go, well, if that's the case, then why did you have various events this year as well as last year? And basically, they didn't want people to come over to where they've held the PlayStation events these last couple years in California to have nothing but nothingness, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is the equivalent of both, let's be blunt, their E3s since 2016 at best, as well as PlayStation Experience since 2016, 2017 at best.
Uh-huh.
Because honestly, I don't know about you guys, the last E3 I truly enjoyed from PlayStation was the one that people label as the E3 of all dreams, i.e. E3 2015. Yeah. Or was it 2014?
Bad Gamer said, I wonder why they aren't doing it this year. Did they realize how awful last time was?
That too, and plus they don't have a lot to show.
But it also makes me fearful of something that might happen as well too. I don't want it to happen, but I could see it happening because Sony being, Sony.
Mm-hmm.
Them announcing PlayStation 5 next year.
Yeah, probably. But
and
yes, we're now in the gameplay, and now we're introduced to Teo McDowell, who's the main character's father.
Mm.
I'm actually pretty impressed with how these sprites look.
Oh yeah, for a 32-bit game, it looks impressive.
Yeah, they're pretty big and detailed for.
They just blow up in your face with all the really crisp colors too. Also, those reflections there. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, the thing about Suikoden 1 and 2 is that it's the main composer for both games with their soundtracks, Miki Higashino, had a really very authentic sound to the entirety of the soundtracks, because there are times when she'll use acoustic guitar music that actually makes the music sound very harmonious and like very soothing to the ears.
Right.
That's like one of her specialties for both the soundtracks before she didn't even have any part in the sequels, which Michiru Yamane had for Suikoden 3.
I know her.
Oh, everyone knows that name.
Oh yeah, when it comes to Castlevania and Bloodstained fame. And
I'm sorry, no. Well, was it? No, it wasn't her that did Street Fighter. I'm sorry.
No, it was Yoko Shimomura who did Street Fighter.
Shimomura, thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
They call themselves Alpha Lila Wa Lila, which, funny enough, in Gundam Build Divers, one of the characters has an attack called Alpha Lila Wa Lila.
Really?
And the Bad Gamer brought up a fair point. Suikoden 1 has one flaw: no run button.
True.
That's true.
That is very true.
Something even Pokemon didn't have until Gen 3, and even then, it wasn't part of your main thing until like Gen 6, where you could do it without getting special shoes.
Mm-hmm. So we're meeting the main antagonist of the game, Barbarossa, the Emperor of Greg Minister of the Scarlet Moon Empire.
Not to be confused with Barbara Ann.
Right.
Oh, now we just need the Beach Boys to actually come sing for us. If they're still around, which obviously they're not.
I think they are.
Oh, they are?
I think they are.
I think.
Not all the original members, obviously.
Right.
But a good handful at least.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, which Suikoden game was the first one you guys played? Was it the original?
The first one I played, I knew of them, but the first one I touched was 3, actually.
Oh.
I'm the same way with Jerry, except my first outing wasn't 3, it was 2.
I remember 3, and then I remember 4. I played those 2. I did not get to play 5.
Now, that's actually a good question that you bring up, Jerry, because I know there's a specific one that's considered the absolute worst in the franchise, but which one was it again?
4.
4. Yeah.
Okay.
I played 4, and I see why. 5 was great.
Oh, 5 was like a return to form with what made Suikoden 2 really spectacular.
Bad Gamer says his first was 2. It's opposite of how I am with another Chinese-based Japanese game, Dynasty Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
With that game, I played since the very first, where it was a fighter.
Yeah, this is actually the first one I played, and I know that my good friend Game Dave, actually really enjoys this game with flying passion.
Oh yeah.
Bad Gamer said 4 straight up garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like the fan base's opinion on what they think the worst is, they think that the worst one is Suikoden 3, and I highly disagree on that.
No.
I love 3.
God.
3 was the one with the duck, right?
Yes, the Duck Clan.
That's great. Shut up, that's great.
No, but
that's what I'd say to them.
Wasn't 3 the one that not only had cell shading, but was the first one to debut on PlayStation 2?
Yes, it was the first one to debut on PlayStation 2.
What the heck are you talking about? That was good entry.
Mm-hmm. And that was the only Suikoden game I remember that actually achieved critical acclaim status. Like over 90% on Metacritic for its time.
But it's something funny you bring up, Kyle, because this just holds more weight to what we as a group have been saying for years. Companies should never listen to their fan bases.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not 100% anyways.
But you get what I'm saying. Like, for example, like, I'm not the biggest fan of Call of Duty, but you've seen how wonky that fan base is, that series has been from its fan base alone, right? Because they don't even know what they want from said series. You know what I mean?
Alex says, or Bad Gamer says, Europe never got 3.
Oh, wow.
Really?
And he also said his first Dynasty Warriors was 7.
My first one. My
did you
first
do the
one
train,
was 2.
by the way?
Do what?
The train.
What train?
The train.
Yeah, I already did the follow train. Yes.
Good.
But
so the first one, are they related? Or are they just called 1, 2, 3? I never, because when I played
they're all related because they're all set in the same world, but just different countries.
Okay.
Yeah,
just like you were explaining to me with Trails of Cold Steel.
Yes, or the Trail series in general. Yes. The Legend of Heroes, the Trail sub-series. Yes. So yeah, but funny enough, this game was not.
He said "and times." Bad.
And times. Oh, end times. I see.
Different countries and times.
That's true.
The thing about Suikoden 1 was that it was originally not supposed to be the first Suikoden to come out. That was supposed to be Suikoden 2.
Really?
Really. But the development team were not that confident that they were able to pull off 2 really well, so that's why they made this game as an experiment to see if it would warrant enough interest from not only consumers, but if it would gain them enough confidence to actually get 2 done out of the way.
That's actually smart.
Bad Gamer says he thinks, if I remember correctly, Suikoden 5 is first in the timeline, the chronological.
No, it's 4.
Oh, it's 4.
Really?
Yeah, 4 is...
So the worst one's considered the first game in the entire timeline. Interesting.
Yeah. And the fifth one is the second game. First one's the third game. Second one's the fourth game, and the third one is the most recent in the chronology.
That reminds me of Street Fighter and all these other fighting games, how they do that.
Yes, how their continuity is just so complete messed up.
3 is still Street Fighter 3 is still the latest in the timeline.
Which Yoshinori Ono does not want to go forward with, which really ticks me off.
Yeah, but it's Ono.
Bad Gamer says 4 doesn't count because it's garbage.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually got a good question for you guys. Since we're obviously streaming and playing video games at the moment. What are you guys' honest opinions of the closure of Telltale?
Sad to see.
Not harsh enough. I agree with you after what I read.
Yeah.
Remember I made that meme and I said, is this harsh or not harsh enough?
And I said not harsh enough, yeah.
And I agree completely now after seeing what I saw about what, no. Yeah.
With how much the developers, like the hard-working actual developers in the team got screwed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'd feel really bad for those developers. You know, if the truth about Telltale of them not paying them for their hard work, yeah, that's bad on their part.
That's why I don't want the final season of The Walking Dead to wrap up. I mean, it sucks, but at the same time, like the executives over at Telltale shouldn't be,
right.
They shouldn't get any severance or
kind of. It kind of reminds me, like with a certain company like Factor 5 before they went under, that they weren't even paying their employees when they were supposedly working on that Superman game.
You know, it's funny you bring that up because I was thinking deep in my mind, like what studio closure was so similar to that, and it's funny you bring that up because that is exactly how equivalent it is to what just happened with Telltale.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the old saying, history tends to repeat.
Yes.
Oh, I guess it did.
Oh, it did. You're not incorrect there.
Bad Gamer says, I feel sorry for the people working there, but with the amount of games they shoved out, it wasn't a surprise. It was more or less the Guitar Hero effect. That's right.
Yeah.
Guitar Hero was flooding the market. Yeah.
Guitar Hero and Rock Band as well too from EA.
Yeah, they were flooding the market. That's why you don't see rhythm games anymore because freaking people got sick of them.
Exactly.
Which is a shame because you wish we would because they're still prevalent.
I still like it. Yeah, but people, because of them screwing it up, oversaturating the market. You ever heard of oversaturation? That's for such big businesses. They act like they never went to business school 101.
No, really?
I mean,
Jerry. That clearly explains why the DCU is such in a dire strait at the moment, right?
Yeah. I know I told Starchild we're on.
Mm-hmm.
Bad Gamer says problem was they didn't have the funding for the saturation, unlike Activision, who had the money.
Yeah, actually got a point. He does have a point to that degree. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because Telltale, whether they like it or not, I've never qualified them as a AAA developer. They've always been an indie developer from start to finish.
Yeah.
But because of their hubris, because of the hubris of the year that they won Game of the Year for, let's be realistically, I'm not saying this because of the writers, I'm saying just because of the game in general, the first season of The Walking Dead. Being a really lackluster game, it really got to their heads. Because I can tell you right now, the games that they released before were actually better. In my humble opinion, honestly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so he does have a point because like Activision, even though they flooded the market, because they have all the capital that they have, they're still fine.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what Bad Gamer's saying.
Yeah, with all the with all that money that they have, like owning Blizzard for one thing.
Oh yeah. They get a boatload of cash all alone, not from
so even though they don't get rhythm game money anymore, they don't need to.
Yeah.
And COD. Yeah, exactly. Bad Gamer.
COD. Yep. And the Call of Duties.
Call of Duty. With
the map packs and the special edition consoles.
Yeah, but it's funny that we bring up Call of Duty because, like I said earlier, it's the same thing is inevitably happen to that franchise too, because the developers don't even know what their own fan base wants because they say, "Oh, we want boots to the ground. Oh, we want something different each and every dang year." You know what I mean? That's why I was going back to saying it's best to just make the games you want to make and not 100% listen to the fan base. You know what I mean? It's funny like the same stuff we talk about in regards to animation, right, Jerry?
Yep.
In regards to social media, it's fine to have input, but not to completely listen to them.
Exactly. Like, they shouldn't be telling you everything. They should
don't take it to heart. Just take it for what it is, as constructive criticism.
Yeah. Take the criticism or listen to the criticism, but you don't have to make every single shape it to exactly how they say. Official No Name. Hello. First time playing.
Yeah. Well,
not Double R. Not for the one he's
no,
played
no, it's not first time playing, but this is our first episode. Yes.
Yes, first episode. Yes, but first time playing for us individually. Kyle, no, but me and Jerry, for quite some time because
I started with 3.
Yeah, but I'm saying in general, we haven't seen a Suikoden game in years.
Yeah,
and we're never going to see one again, considering how Konami has been stuck on pachinkos.
Well, to be fair, I think we will, but the worst will be that'll be exclusive to Sony.
Probably.
Like what happened with the Castlevania ports.
Yeah, but you got to remember there was also that DS spinoff that was exclusive on the Nintendo DS.
Oh, true, but it's just I'm saying that with those with those ports that were just announced for Rondo and Blood and Symphony of the Night, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got a point.
And with Suikoden being, a recognizable IP on the PlayStation side, I could see it being, instead of a third-party thing, being an exclusive to PlayStation, which I hate to say this, but every time this happens, I really hate seeing it because I don't know about you guys, but I feel like forced exclusivity does not work in favor for a console manufacturer.
No. Not unless if it's for a first party with their own created IPs, and that's a totally different story, you know?
or if, like what happened with Rise of the Tomb Raider or other games back in the past, that has happened in certain situations where the publisher is screwed up and they need to get funding from one of the big three. That's completely fine. You know what I mean?
Right. But there are times where I feel like, unless if it's a game that, seems like it fits really well for a console, then I say that is one point where you could give it the benefit of the doubt. But at the same time, that's still a crapshoot.
No, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I get that, dude. I mean, personally, I understand completely why you are miffed with Konami not making games anymore, and I completely understand that, Kyle. But honestly, I feel like what's currently going off Konami is just more of a dire strain of what happened with Capcom a couple years back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
between developers and Ono,
wait.
but I think it's...
Huh?
What? What's the matter?
I'm trying to figure out what Jeff's saying.
Like, what happened between...
You like patchy slots?
No. What I'm saying is what happened between the developer and Ono. I think it's more detriment because of what happened with the company and them being still to this day being salty with Kojima. You know what I mean? That alone, their own hubris is affecting their own decisions. Is what I'm getting at. You know what I mean? Like they're not thinking clearly. They're doing stupid crap because they're still pissed off for some stupid reason over with Kojima, which I don't get why. You know what I mean?
Well,
True.
I always had the theory, and apparently that theory was already proven correct with Nintendo. So if Nintendo is with them, then I think Konami's with them too, obviously. And I think you know who I mean. I'll just say the numbers: 893.
Yep. Yep.
If you know what I mean, you know what I mean.
Yes, we do.
That's what I think. I think Konami is in bigger with them than any other company, and that's what.
Oh yeah.
And I think the thing with Kojima, you're right. And why they're so mad is because they're those 893, and they ain't normal businessmen. They're
not.
They get pretty angry.
Yeah, they do. That gamer said in the chat, I don't think we'll ever see a new Suikoden compared to the series like Castlevania.
Oh yeah.
Here.
I
agree with him. That's where I would only agree.
Suikoden has a less of a chance than those, yeah, because.
Whereas the opposite of what happened just now with Castlevania, I would be completely fine with Suikoden being an exclusive PlayStation. You know what I mean? Because the bigger install base means that.
Plus, it's always been on PlayStation.
The good potential, it will no longer be an obscure franchise. You know what I mean? And I know why. And I don't know why that this was blocked, but from official N0 name, I mean, all the games are amazing in my opinion, but there are still a lot of unanswered questions like Jean 27 True Rooms, Cinder, and so on. But it would actually be okay if a manga, Yoshitaka Murayama, where all the questions get an answer.
Wait, how come I didn't see that chat?
Because it was held for a reason, aggressive.
Oh wow. Friggin' Automod. Apologize for that official no name.
And it happened again with the same user because now with this one, it's profanity. Just by fixing the manga's username. I don't get why. Apologies again, official and name.
Oh yeah, official no name. Definitely. I definitely know what you mean about the Suikoden series. Yes, the background behind all the games, the lore and everything. It seemed like Konami was definitely on their way to having themselves a pretty good flagship JRPG franchise on their belt, but unfortunately it didn't seem like it caught off really well with something like, say, Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest, or later with Monster Hunter and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, at least there's still very passionate fans who really still enjoy even the older games to this day.
Right.
And, this is one of those things where I feel that Suikoden is still left in an unfinished state. I mean, we only know about, 2/3 of all the 27 true runes, and we don't even know what all the others are supposed to be. So it's like Konami just left it in a very, very unfinished state at this point. And, there's certain plot lines after 3 that still have not been rectified, because, again, just like Street Fighter 3, it hasn't been an official continuation after that chronologically.
Hopefully that will change with Street Fighter 6, because apparently our boy Hideaki Itsuno would like to take the mantle of the next installment, supposedly.
Especially since 5 seems to be leading up to 3 so well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it seems to be 5 seems to want to fill in the gaps for what happened between 2 and 3.
And
I mean, I'm not trying to jinx 6, but I have a hell of a better feeling with that game than I did leading into 5 because Ono was demoted.
Yeah.
Oh,
Apparently
Yoshinori Ono got demoted?
Yep.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, yes. Anything to keep Ono off of that franchise.
Kyle, I'm surprised you missed this because this literally was at the start of this year when the main producer of Monster Hunter.
Oh, whatever his name is. Yeah, I know what you mean. Sujimoto or something.
Yeah, I think it's Sujimoto.
Like Ryojo or Ryomo Sujimoto, yes.
Yes. Yeah, he became the head of Capcom Division 2, the main crux of Capcom's development team.
Bum, bum, ba-dum. That
gamer, the only way to get Suikoden out of the obscurity, Konami needs to do what they did with Castlevania, a compilation collection of the 4 games, 1, 3, and 5. I agree.
That, or, well, seeing as how Sony is not really bringing about any more releases to the PSN on the PS3, we might as well say, get a compilation in so that way we can get Suikoden 5 released, because that's the only game in the series that has not seen a re-release out of all the 5 main installments.
And once again, No Name, I apologize, but your comment was once again blocked by Automod for some stupidity profanity. But this is what the user said. Yep, it's too bad. This is what I mean. It would take a lot of games to get the questions answered, but I would be okay if a manga.
I'm gonna go in and disable that profanity crap.
You should. It's stupid.
Disable it.
I am, because that's ridiculous.
And hey, if we get, hey, just to say this, if Twitch deletes our channel or blocks us, you can find us over at Mixer.com.
Yes.
Same user.
Funny thing is, when playing this game, the dragons sound like elephants from the Dragon's Den. They don't sound like real dragons. They sound like elephant noises.
I did catch that. That is funny.
Some very interesting audio choices for some of the beasts in this game.
Yeah, you say interesting. I say cheap and easy.
Well, yeah. I mean, then again, this is the first game, so, with any first game in a series, it is a crapshoot as to whether or not it will actually do well. And luckily enough, this game did do well to warrant a sequel, which turns out to be the best game in the franchise. My personal favorite.
There we go, auto mod.
Okay, so we're here at Magician's Island, so now we can finally start getting into some battles here real soon.
Awesome.
So, out of all the Suikoden games, which do you think had the best soundtrack?
I want to say 2 after going back to it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, ditto.
Okay, where's the auto mod?
Yeah, I'm going to level up my characters to 5 before we take on this area's boss, because there is a boss here that we fight against.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Moderation settings. Here we go. Your auto mod setting is custom. And yet it's still... Nah, forget it. I'll just... Less filtering. Oh, no wonder. It had profanity most filtering. That's why.
Jeez.
What?
I put it to none, because who cares if you swear in our chat?
On.
I don't know why.
Again, not you, but it's this whole crap of freaking Twitch.
Yeah. So now, No Name and anybody else who was, if Negative Zen shows up, you don't have to worry about that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, you know what I mean?
And I should check our streaming health while we're here, since we're live.
Oh, poor Gremio bit the dust there in that battle.
It says our streaming health is unstable.
Wait, what?
1900 kilobytes per second. What?
That's
yeah,
not.
Twitch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because Twitch is so correct. Wrong. I'm taking a look at the dropped frames, and we have not had any dropped frames whatsoever.
Exactly. That's what I'm like. I'm like, that's just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Twitch is tripping right now.
Tripping.
You know, one of the things about Suikoden aside, instead of 4, that I always fondly remember is the names of the characters are ones that you would expect for a game that's based on fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
They just really roll right off your tongue, and they're just really creative in that sense.
Bad Gamer, Lucia Blight's theme
Luca.
still one. Oh, Luca, thank you.
Yes.
Luca Blight's theme was still one of the best battle songs, the opening song in my mind.
Oh god, Luca Blight in Suikoden 2, that guy is a monster.
Konami has such good music.
One of the only primary antagonists in a video game I consider to be quite scary for the time.
Funny enough, like behind Streets of Rage for Sega, I think my favorite 16-bit soundtracks are all Konami games. After that,
Agreed.
like I'm pretty like that era. Super Castlevania 4 is wow.
Oh yes, it's still revolutionary. The music, that is, but probably my favorite had to be during that era either had to be Sparkster or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time, or Tournament Fighters for that matter.
You know, that's a good one. Sparkster was
Rocket Knight Adventures
too, right?
Well, for Sega Genesis, yes, but it was just called Sparkster on the Super Nintendo because it became its own game, basically.
Right. But yeah, no, I completely agree.
Yeah. The Super Nintendo version of the second one was actually better than the...
Oh, God, yes. I consider it to be one of the best platformers in the 16-bit generation. It's just that great.
I don't know what happened with the Genesis version of the second one, but jeez.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it
still had the main designer or the main director from the Contra games working on that, but it's just after the first Rocket Knight Adventures, it's like, what in the world happened with Rocket Knight Adventures 2 in that release? Because that was a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Official No Name said, Yoshitaka's goal from the beginning was actually Suikoden 2, which is what you were talking about.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Suikoden 1 was only a test, yeah.
Yeah, to see
Bad Gamer said, let's not forget Reminiscence, straight up perfection. And No Name agrees with a heart.
Oh, we're talking about...
Bad Gamer says, yeah.
Reminiscence, the song in Suikoden 2. Oh my gosh. It's like a lot of the music that Miki Higashino did for Suikoden 1 and 2, there were times that you felt like you just wanted to tear up with just how majestic the soundtrack sounds for both games. They were so great. It's like Higashino definitely had a very good understanding with how to, convey feelings from people when it comes to music and that kind of stuff. It's just so pleasing to the ears.
Official No Name asked if we've watched Big Bang Theory.
No, I don't watch it.
We know what it is.
But I've seen episodes when I'm at work. But that was during my time whenever I worked like during the evening shifts, which I don't do so anymore. But yeah, that's when I watch it. And yes, Sheldon is a butthead, if you ask me. Even though he's funny, but he is a butthead.
Bad Gamer, Luca didn't have the true ruin, yet he could take 18 people in a fight.
Yes, he could. But yeah, you're right. He did not have a true rune. But since he was that much of a madman, bent on revenge, and just this ferocious monster, he could take on so many people at once. That's why so many people feared him in Suikoden 2, because of how monstrous he was when it came to his strength and his power and all that. Should be getting close to us going up against the boss here real soon. Or us getting to level 5 with everybody. Yeah, it's just in this section though. But we won't bother with going there just yet until we actually get everybody to level 5. But yeah. But I would say probably if you manage to beat Suikoden 2 at 100% and get the the good ending, consider yourself getting a medal for that game, because for the longest time, until about 10 years ago, I could not even figure out how to beat Suikoden 2 with all 108 stars of Destiny, and I was having the hardest time throughout all my life before that time to figure out how I actually beat that game. But then until I looked up game facts as of recent to see how it was all done, I was like, really? That's all you had to do? To get that last character and to get, the main character's most powerful spell for the Bright Shield rune? It's like, wow.
Huh.
By the way, thank you very much, Official No Name. That means a lot to us.
Oh, yes. I mean, when it comes
especially after today.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, today some random guy decided to, troll me, I'm just walking home from the store. So that, especially today, thank you very much, No Name, because we could definitely use a upper.
Oh, absolutely. And
yeah.
By the way, Official No Name, if you have never done so yet, then you can definitely follow our individual streams as well, our streaming channels, too.
Well, actually, better yet, follow the Discord.
And follow our Discord, too, which...
Join the Discord. Excuse me, you don't follow one.
Yeah, join the Discord, but you can follow our individual Twitch streaming channels, too. And speaking of which, I will be playing more Trails of Cold Steel 2 tonight. So if you want to, watch for that, then by all means, go right ahead.
He's double RPG.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Which the acronym means...
In case you're wondering, yeah, what does it mean?
Retro role-playing gamer is what it is originally supposed to be.
See, I knew roleplay. I never knew that.
Mm-hmm. Because...
New.
No, yeah, absolutely. And I guess when it comes to my Final Fantasy retrospective, you could actually see why I decided to go with that name, because it actually, reflects my name very well, or my internet alias. So yeah, definitely post our links in the chat there, Jerry or Jeff, whichever one is doing it.
Well, no, that, but you can also check at the bottom of the video player to find our various means, whether Twitter.
If you're on desktop, you just scroll down.
Yeah, Twitter, YouTube, even our Discord link that goes right to our server.
Mm-hmm.
Bad Gamer
All right
also. He's known you for years, and he never knew that's what it stood for. He never bothered to ask.
Well, everybody's learned something new today.
See, retro roleplay. I was like, what's the first R stand for?
Retro.
I was thinking of roaming.
And, a lot of people never really called me Double RPG. Even today, they just call me RRPG. Because they never ask me how my name is pronounced.
Well, just like when people see my name, they like Fighter Shouts, Fighter Zouse,
Fighter Joust.
Fighter Zouse.
That's actually happened plenty of time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
How do you... It's like, no, just pretend the X is a K. Fighter Kaus.
Or,
where's that from?
Or C for, like, cow or something.
Or C, like, if you're Spanish, which is...
And it sounds like we got ourselves a follow there. I think.
Hey, Star Child!
And hey, Star Child!
Made it.
Welcome, Star Child. And if we did get followed, thank you very much to the person who did follow us.
Bad Gamer just said, I'll just call you Double RR.
Double RR!
Yeah, Chaos is because I was an edgelord when I was 15, so I was like, I'm gonna call myself Chaos with an X.
Well, to be fair, who wasn't an edgelord back then, Jerk?
And then, the fighter was because a lot of people apparently had the same idea.
Yep.
So I was like, well, I'm going to put fighter in front because I like Fighter Roar from Super Robot Wars. And also because the Geek Fighters. Is that a double meaning?
Yep.
The fighter is for the Geek Fighters, which is the channel you're on, and the fighter is also for Fighter Roar from Super Robot Wars. First debuted, I forgot what the game was called. SD Battle or something like that with Kamen Rider and Gundam.
Yes, yeah. I actually have either 1, 2, or 3 on the Super Famicom, an actual cartridge of that too.
Oh, that's cool, man. That was Fighter Wars beginnings.
Mm-hmm.
Star Child said he fell asleep when he was watching JoJo,
JoJo's
which is
season
funny.
2, yeah.
'Cause that's pretty much everybody's favorite JoJo is young Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah, everybody loved
that
young
sound
Joseph.
effect right when we were entering the battle with the golem, I've always wondered what that sound effect was because I've been trying to look everywhere for it, and it really, I can't even really figure out what it is. So official no name, if you actually know what the name of that sound effect is, and hopefully that YouTube or something has it so that way I can look it up, because I always like that sound effect, and you also hear it quite a lot in the Monster Rancher anime that was on all those years ago.
I remember that. That was on Fox Kids.
Yes, it was. It was actually not that bad either.
Yeah.
Wait, Monster Rancher, was it on Fox Kids or UPN?
Fox Kids.
Yeah.
Oh.
I remember because the kid's name was Genki, and I remember, Genki, that's...
And
So whenever somebody asks if you're fine, they say, Genki desu ka?
and the female's name was Holly, the female human of the group. Which, who was your trainer in the Monster Rancher video game. The first one, that is. And I think they had Scott McNeil playing the voice of Suezo, the one-eyed monster. Do you really think you're a match for me, Scott McNeil? I mean, Ken?
Ken, I love... And that epic comeback, and you're a loser.
You're a loser!
How dare you hurt my Jessica!
Yep.
You can unlock that Final Fight Double Impact.
Yes, you can.
Still available now for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360.
Oh, Bad Gamer said young Joseph was his favorite Joestar until Johnny showed up, which is, if you don't know, the JoJo for Part 7, Steel Ball Run. And if you don't know about Part 7 is a reset universe because of some shenanigans at the end of Part 6.
Speaking of
Wait, so
shenanigans,
Part
we're going
7 is
upstairs, so
included.
we're getting a vibe of Metal Gear Solid and Final Fantasy VII taking effect here with the going up the stairs.
Right. But Jerry, you just said something that I actually learned something for the first time. Part 7 is a reboot?
Yeah.
Interesting. I just assumed it was a continuation just because
I keep forgetting that. I'm so into it that I forget that friggin'. Yeah, yes, it's a reboot because Part 6 ends with some an ending people didn't see coming. I'll tell you that much.
Right there. Here we have the main Cirrus of the Suikoden games, Lady Leknot, a very ominous and prominent figure who's more of the Cirrus who guides the protagonists and all that. So more of like a guide, and rather than not following in line with either the good or evil side.
Mm-hmm.
What's the chat saying, Jeff?
Keep in mind, Bad Gamer, tell him to eat crap, Johnny. Tell him yourself, eat crap. Best scene ever.
I forgot Gyro Sapelli's in it. He's like one of the coolest dudes in Eat Steel Ball Run.
Mm-hmm.
And Star Child says he has Monster Hunter on DVD.
Oh, nice.
Or Monster Rancher.
Monster Rancher, sorry.
No, that's all right.
Oh no, he wrote Hunter.
Oh, Monster Hunter. Oh, based on Monster Hunter stories. I think that's what he's referring to.
Yes, he is.
On PlayStation 3 PSN store, they have Suikoden 1 through 4, but not 5.
Not 5 nor Suikoden Tactics.
Oh, by the
know.
way, Star Child. Speaking of PS Store, did you get my friend request for my Japanese PlayStation account? I don't know if you got it.
Probably not, but that's probably him on the motorcycle needing to go back home to accept that friend request.
It's all the way in Texas. So. You guys, I don't. Oh yeah, he did accept it. Yeah, it's just Fighter Cows JP. And yet my
Honestly,
name.
Jerry, you should have won a better one, like the one you chose, like the ones you chose for Switch.
Golly.
Oh gosh. Which one of them is his U.S. account, and the other is going to be his Japanese account when he inevitably gets a Switch.
Boy, that online, I mean, that's a bag of worms, but boy, that online,
Yeah.
Not only online, but don't even start with the freaking cloud saves.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy that they switched up their policies when it came to the cloud saves, but still, that should have been at day one.
Yeah, but to be fair, they're trying to back down, saying, "Oh, that's always been like that since day one." It's like, no, it hasn't.
No, it hasn't.
Nintendo.
Or shut up, fanboys. You don't have a hearsay in it because you're nobodies. And I'm speaking about you, OJ.
Yeah. You know the sad thing is, you used to be friends with them, weren't you? Right?
Well, that's because I was interested in his content at the time, but seeing more and more of him lately, it's just like, yeah, he's full on just fanboy. White Knight, Nintendo White Knight Defense Force 101.
Seriously, he's gotten that bad? Dang.
What? Oh, are you serious, Star Child? I need to get. Oh man, I wish I could add yen.
Oh wow, yeah, no kidding.
Oh god, yeah, the Dragon Rathalos, that's his name, not Leo Laes. What in the world?
Yeah, this really shows that PlayStation America is stupid, right, guys?
Star Child says the Japanese PSN has Power Instinct 2.
Mm-hmm.
Power Instinct, the fighting game, the one that Sissy's from.
Matra Melee.
You know, where I became a legend-beating Sissy.
Yes, you did. The Legend of Fighter Chaos will never, ever go away when it comes to him beating Sissy.
Also, Wild Arms 5. The Japanese PSN also sent me an email. I showed you, Double R, that Legend of Heroes is already out.
Oh, Trails of Cold Steel. Trails of Cold Steel 4. Yes, that released on the 27th in September.
No, the mainline Legend of Heroes.
No, that's what I was referring to.
Wait, that's what that email was?
Yeah, for the Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel 4. Yeah, that's what it was about.
Oh. Excuse me.
Yeah, the Trails of Cold Steel series is a part of the Legend of Heroes main continuity.
Yeah, I thought it was for the main. Okay, I looked at the email.
Well, the Trails subseries is not a spin-off or anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you saw that email though.
Yeah, I did, but I am looking forward. Hopefully, Xseed gets the rights to actually localize both 3 and 4, because now that Falcom has gotten finished with the all the games that take place in the land of Erebonia, which the Trails of Cold Steel games are based on, I think it's high time that they finally get those last 2 games localized for the Western markets badly. And I even told Fighter Chaos that if you ever played the original Lunar and Lunar 2 or their remakes on the PlayStation, that the gameplay in the Trails of Cold Steel series actually feels very similar to that of the Lunar games, because the creators of Lunar originally came from Falcom.
Mm-hmm.
And I told Double R, I said, well, that means I'm destined to play it then.
Yes, you do. You are
eventually,
destined. Yeah. You are destined to play them, and you still need to get them on. Either the well, you probably have to get them on PS Vita, but unless if you decide to get them on PC whenever you get your PC, then by all means go ahead, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it does. Star Child said, what reminded me of it was when we talked about Super Robot Wars, Japanese PSN store.
Yeah.
The Japanese PSN on PS3 has a few of the Super Robot Wars games on there. Yep. Bad Gamer has Moon Dwellers, which is the one I want because it's based off of Super Robot Wars J.
Oh, that's right.
But only with the OG characters.
But still, it just really dissatisfies me. It really dissatisfies me that we still have not gotten all of the Super Robot Wars games over here in the West. We just only got like a couple, and that's it.
That is disappointing.
Because from the footage that you were showing me...
Yeah, go ahead.
From the footage that you were showing me of the games that were on PS3 and PS4, it's like, why aren't these not out in the Western market? Retro enthusiasts would love these games.
Oh, I know, right? The animation looks gorgeous.
Yeah, the animation is gorgeous, and do not put it past people like Banpresto or Monolith Soft, because they know how to, do well with really detailed sprite animations in this day and age.
Well, here's the problem. It's the transparency between companies like the American branch and the Japanese branch of Sony.
I got more on the story of Super Robot Wars, but Bad Gamer has now seen what I see, in that Fighter Roar is an awesome character. Now he sees why I named myself after Fighter Roar. He says
You've
that's
been
his
knowing that for years.
second best character, and he likes Moon Dwellers as well. And Starshell said the PS1 games for Super Robot Wars PS1 games are $7.
Wow.
Also
Dang.
about that, there was gonna. Did you know Original Generations, the OG game that doesn't have any licensing problems for PS2,
Yeah.
never came out over here because guess who?
What?
Sony.
Sony.
Why? Because they're saying, well, PS3 is out. Nobody wants to buy PS2 games.
Oh, like the same crap that I showed you a couple days ago when they almost got the Halo IP?
Yep.
Yeah, there was a time when Sony almost got the Halo IP before Microsoft, but they did some stupid crap as usual because Sony being Sony.
Yep.
So we never got the good Original Generations game with all the added stuff. Because the GBA versions of those same games came out over here.
Mm-hmm.
The GBA versions came out over here. Why? Because no licensing issue. OGs.
Okay.
PS2 remake doesn't come out just because Sony's like, yeah, but no. Bad Gamer says, I wish I could play the older one. Sadly, I don't know any Japanese. I feel you on that. I want to play OGs so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, Europe didn't even get the GBA versions. Wow. I had OG2 on GBA.
And yet,
Should have kept it.
And yet, Sony did not allow what's their name to release Omega Labyrinth Z in the Western market because of how much etchy that game is.
Oh no, boobs.
And I hate to say this, but you guys understand why I'm more of a Microsoft guy than either Nintendo or Sony, right? It's nothing against the divisions. It's just the stupid business decisions that affect from the Japanese side to the American side or vice versa, you know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna lie, those are the real reasons why I do not like both Nintendo and PlayStation these days.
That's what I wrote.
Just the broken bureaucratic nature, you know what I mean?
Right.
Oh no, boobs! Anything but boobs. Gore's okay too. See, that's the hypocrisy.
Exactly.
If that's the hypocrisy of us, the opposite is the hypocrisy of the East.
Yep.
Isn't it, right?
Yeah, they can't stand blood.
But they can surely. But they
boobs are-
sure love boobs.
Well, obviously, it's a thing
yeah.
between cultures, and the thing is that the West, they only just take a look at what's on the outside instead of what's on the inside.
The inside, yeah.
Official No Name says, I'm sorry, I don't know the name of that soundtrack. Weren't you asking him a question about it?
I don't think I was.
No, double R.
Oh.
Oh, no, not the name of the soundtrack, but the soundbite, when going up against the golem.
Sound effect.
Yeah, the sound effect when I was going up against the wind rune. I mean, the golem that came out of the wind rune. Yeah, that sound effect, which played in the Monster Ranchers anime series back in the day quite a lot. No, I wasn't talking about the sound.
He knew.
He corrected it.
He corrected himself. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, that's cool. Well, if you don't know, that's fine.
Ugh. Excuse me.
And I know that one of the episodes of Naruto Shippuden actually played it, and it's during the time when Jiraiya went to like the land of the rain to confront pain for the first time.
Bad Gamer. Just what I was talking about. How over here we're opposite of Japan, and like you were Jeff. Over here, like you said, Jeff, we don't like boobs, we like gore. Japan doesn't like gore, but they like boobs. Because over here we're getting the full uncut version of the Fist of the North Star game with the gore uncut. In Japan, it's actually censored, the gore.
Now, I understand why we're so abrasive when it comes to full body nudity with regards to male female. Here's my thing though. Why is it when it comes to Japanese culture they're so against gore when most of their media is prevalent in gore? You know what I mean?
Especially back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, like with
because even Dragon Ball was way bloodier. Super doesn't have any blood.
Or hell, even freaking the OG days of Kamen Rider, for example.
Yeah, I mean, take a look at some others like Genocyber and Violence Jack. They are heavily ridden with gore, as well as Berserk and Fist of the North Star.
Yeah. Official No Name says that same sound effect is used when you use the Soul Eater.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Starshell said, in the Japanese version, their bodies just turn to shadows when they die. And Starshell, I know you're like us, and you miss when it was like, when they actually were okay with the violence, and now they're like, it's weird to see Dragon Ball with no blood. Like, and Dragon Ball's not even, it's tame compared to all those, and yet even that's censored.
Yeah, Dragon Ball's tamer compared to Z. I mean, jeez.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially with what happened to Frieza. Yeah, that's some very violent stuff back in the day.
Star Child said it's not so much the gore as it is dismemberment, and Bad Gamer said they did the same thing for No More Heroes.
But that's hypocrisy right there, because gore equates to dismemberment.
Wasn't there a game that where Japan had to censor it because it was too bloody, or they had to either tone it down or give the option to where they could say, "Hey, you want to play this version instead of playing the uncut version or whatnot?" And you could choose between either two of them in case if you couldn't really stand the blood and gore. But
yeah, wasn't there a recent release that did happen?
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm thinking of. Just can't. It just, like I said, it really slips right off my tongue. I can't really figure out.
Bad Gamer said only NA for the uncensored version of No More Heroes.
Oh, really? Only North America got it.
Yeah,
Europe got the same version. Wow.
As the Japanese, come on, Japan. But then again, this is Nintendo. You know what I mean?
And Europe.
But
Slasher Rabbit.
Yeah, the Axe Rabbits are giving me a hard time right now.
Hey, seeing this stuff, I had it for PS1. Did you ever have this game that I used to have called RPG Maker?
I used to try it out. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 of your guys are dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 of my guys are dead, but I brought them back with some medicine. But the thing is that with this game, they don't have revival items or anything like that, but they do. But after you get through a battle, and if you use medicine on them after they die, then you can bring them back to life that way. Which honestly, I kind of find that to be very interesting in that sense.
Yeah,
right.
Bad Gamer said that Europe got no gore. Europe got gore in the second No More Heroes game. All of a sudden.
Well, let's be blunt. EU and NA Japan. I mean, the Japanese, North American, European branches of Nintendo, while they're somewhat better today, let's not forget this was 8 years ago, because that's when No More Heroes, the OG, was released 2 years before No More Heroes 2 in 2010, right?
Uh-huh.
So 2008. This is the usual stick that we have gotten sadly accustomed to Nintendo in general. That they didn't want to have any problematic things in their games because, we have to cater to the kiddies.
Yeah, whether it be violence or like religious references and that kind of stuff.
Which I get, I understand, and we can all agree that their main consumer is kids and always has been kids. The problem is they don't realize nor want to recognize that it's not only kids that buy their products.
Uh-huh.
I mean, just a sample. Look at our generation. You know what I mean? We were the ones that started with Nintendo. You know what I mean?
Star Child said he also has RPG Maker, but for the PS2 Part 3. And I love those games. Well, that's not a game.
Bring up. But I do want to bring up that I do feel like that is an essential game to have in a library for someone who started with PlayStation 1, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Bad Gamer said... Oh, sorry, Official No Name had a question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about Final Fantasy VI? Phenomenal.
Great game.
Yes.
I still like it more than 7. Oh,
who doesn't? Dude, I prefer 6, 8, and 9 over 7, and I like 7 for what it is, but...
Yes, I don't hate 7.
The fanboys, in my eyes, have ruined that game for me. Sorry.
Right. They gave it too much credit. I mean, kind of like the same with the Zelda fans, how a lot of people think that Ocarina of Time is the best, but we disagree because A Link to the Past is still the better game.
Mm-hmm.
And the conventions that were brought about with the Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, a lot of people take for granted with Ocarina of Time.
Oh God, Bad Gamer.
Yeah, I saw that, Kappa.
Oh, Kappa, why?
Good use of Kappa, Alex. Good use.
Official No Name said, this is how he could tell we have high IQs. FX picked over 7.
I mean,
FF6 over 7. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I still enjoy Final Fantasy VII for what it is.
Well, yeah, I don't hate it.
Exactly.
But
That's what I'm
I don't
saying,
hate it. But the thing is that the fanboys, it's just they give it way too much credit and thinking it's like the best game in the series when they obviously haven't even played any of the previous entries before that one.
Like for example, going all the way back to
Bad
E3,
Gamer said, give him 13. He loves some hallways.
What? Oh no! Our friend Kappa, he's been brainwashed into thinking that Final Fantasy 13 is the best thing ever.
Starshell says 7 is all right, but it doesn't age well.
Right.
At all.
There are some things that don't age well about the original 7, which I'm hoping that the remake is better.
Yep.
But hey, a lot of people may not like Final Fantasy 8,
Right,
but my friend Jerry, he loves it with a flying passion.
8's still my favorite.
Yeah.
See, that's and when I say something's my favorite, sometimes like people are like, yeah, but it has problems. Somebody responded to me on YouTube randomly. Yeah, but it has problems. And I said, yeah, but it's still my favorite. I know it has problems. I'm not saying.
Let me guess, you're just saying this because of Spoonie.
Yeah.
Someone who was clearly in the knowledge of games because of how he is in society these days.
Yeah, which thank God he's now irrelevant.
Yep.
The animation for the monsters is actually pretty good.
Oh yeah, the animation for the monsters for this game, yeah, they're really good for, like I said, for a 32-bit game like this.
Same thing with Zelda, like best. Well, I don't know about best, but my favorite is still Link's Awakening. I don't care.
Oh yeah, Link's Awakening.
That's my favorite.
Link's Awakening, that's a really great one too. The one on the Game Boy.
Yep.
Although I do like Link's Awakening DX more because of the added content.
Well, yeah, DX has more stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Bad Gamer, that's why we need a remake for 7, yeah.
Yes.
One's opinion should be respected, No Name, you're right, because, I mean, I say something on YouTube, I'm not attacking anybody, and, like, you get replies, I'm like, dude, okay, you don't agree with me, fine. You'll have to
Hey guys, I made a clip.
Okay, cool.
I shared it on Skype.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Let me see.
Okay,
Thank
if you guys are wondering what I'm doing, I'm actually taking a detour because I actually wanted to get a rune that you can actually get this early on in the game, which is I don't think it's the water crystal, but it might be. But the thing is that you come here. If you come here, you actually get this really powerful, expensive rune that you can't get anytime else later in the game. But I think I might have just screwed it up. But if I didn't, then I'm great. Yes, I am.
See the name you gave it.
I am.
You're welcome.
The Awakening.
The Awakening. Nice.
What our buddy Alex said in the chat.
Let me see. I don't even know what part you clipped.
What he said about Final Fantasy 13 with Kappa.
I mean, I still enjoy Final Fantasy VII for what it is.
Well, yeah,
And I don't hate it. But the thing is that the fanboys, it's just they give it way too much credit and thinking it's like the best game in the series when they obviously haven't even played any of the previous entries.
Oh yeah, I see. Okay. Good job clipping it. Perfect.
You're welcome.
Oh. I just heard me saying the what thing.
Yeah, you heard yourself. What?
Yeah, I was
We need to
like,
clip that for future reference too, we jerk.
Well, you did it.
No, I'm saying using this as a soundbite.
Oh! Bad Gamer said his favorite, based on console gen, for NES, the first one. For SNES, 4. For PS1, 9. For PS2, 10. Respectable.
very respect-worthy.
You know what I want to see on the PS Classic? I already told you guys, but since we're streaming, I'll hear you guys in the chat. I want to know what I want to see on the PlayStation Classic if they want to add another RPG that isn't a Final Fantasy. Legend of Legaia.
Yes.
I told you guys this, but yes. Legend of Legaia, Alundra, you know, those ones that are only were actually exclusives. You know?
Yep.
Bad Gamer says he still has his copy.
Oh, cool.
Of Legaia?
Man, and we were talking about this before, but Legend of Legaia, that is truly a sleeper hit.
Yeah, that game had such a cool combat system.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Sony Computer Entertainment America was the ones who localized the game, much like The Legend of Dragoon, but granted, their localization team was not the best back in the day.
That's true.
Still working condition, that's good, man, because I'm pretty sure that's worth a pretty penny. It's got to be.
That's what we call luck.
Mm-hmm. I mean, for it being a turn-based JRPG / real-time beat-em-up, that's quite an ambitious type of combat to go about in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Starchild said on the Japanese PSN showed 5 of the games that are on there. You remind me of Japanese PlayStation again. I played Judge Eyes because I made a Japanese account just so I could play Judge Eyes.
Right.
Yeah, this game is Yakuza, but it isn't just Yakuza. I know what I just said earlier. I contradicted myself, but that's what I said. That's what it is. It is Yakuza and it isn't Yakuza. What do I mean by that? Okay. See if I can explain this. The combat is super similar to Yakuza, right?
Yeah.
You even get heat moves, but instead of being called heat moves, they're called EX actions. The combat feels a little bit better though, oddly enough, because the guy you're fighting as, he has different styles like Kiryu. He can style switch. Like Kiryu could in Zero and Kiwami, I mean.
Yes.
Yeah.
But everything else, when you're walking around, it's like Yakuza, but at the same time, it's not because you're a lawyer and you actually have to do things by the book instead of like.
So it's basically like Yakuza meets Phoenix Wright, basically, or Ace Attorney.
Yeah.
I've actually heard that comparison before, and it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So you actually have to do like lawyer cop stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, what if you played Yakuza, but you're on the other side of the law? You're actually one of the good guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though Kiryu is hardly a bad guy. I mean, he's so honorable. Like, matter of fact, it's still weird to me that he even became a Yakuza at all.
Right.
In the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they try to explain it by saying he admired the guy who raised him, but still, like, it doesn't really.
Yeah, it doesn't really explain a whole lot, like what you were hoping for.
Official No Name asked, "How do you like Locke in Final Fantasy VI?"
Oh, Locke's a great character.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely one of the more relatable protagonists in a Final Fantasy game. I mean, that's the thing about Final Fantasy VI is that each character is equally developed really well, and they're people that you can definitely relate to.
Oh, wait a minute, Locke, I think is my favorite one from 6.
The thief / treasure hunter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who made his appearance in the City of Final Fantasy NT as of recent.
Yep. I just saw that. He's an NT.
But you like Edgar Figueroa because he's more of the womanizer, basically, Starchild.
Yeah.
Which, oddly enough, the guy who played Noctis in Final Fantasy XV's English voice actor voiced him in World of Final Fantasy, Edgar.
Really?
Yeah, Ray Chase.
Huh, so he does a dual role. Because I know Noctis is now in
World of Final Fantasy
DLC, right?
Yeah, Maxima, uh-huh.
Which, by the way, I'm really glad to see that game finally get an X-Bone release. As well as Switch, too.
That's one thing 5 has over 6. You're right, Bad Gamer.
What's that?
But can Locke suplex a train?
Oh, no. He's talking about Sabin or Sabin. No, Sabin.
Yeah, Sabin.
Sabin is the one who can suplex the Doom train.
Yeah, no. I know that. He knows that. He's saying, but can Locke do it? No.
No. Oh, of course not.
That's the joke. Yeah, I get that.
Joke,
yeah.
Double R.
Oh, you suck. You suck, McBain.
Official No Name said his dad loved 6 and apparently Locke as well. So much that he named me Locke when I was born. Wow.
Yeah. That's cool.
That's like if I named one of my kids Goku.
Oh boy.
Well,
I would definitely name my if I ever have kids, I would definitely, and if I had a daughter, I would definitely name her Terra. With the E and 2 R's.
I already came up with my daughter's name a while ago. It's not any character. I just thought it sounded nice. It's Oceana.
I know a friend of mine when I was in college. He actually had a daughter during that time, and they actually named her Kairi from Kingdom Hearts.
Huh. And they wonder why she's getting picked on every time.
Yeah. It's like, where's your Keyblade? Where's your Keyblade, huh? Yeah, come on. Kairi can wield a Keyblade. Why can't you wield one? Wield one! Darn it!
Fisher said, that's awesome. If I get kids, it's Odessa and Ted from Suikoden 1.
Ah.
Do we have them in our party yet?
Ted's in my party, but he's not one of the 108 Stars of Destiny, sadly. Nor is Odessa. They're tragic heroes, basically.
Huh.
You shall see, especially when it comes to Odessa, because she's one of the early ones to actually have a tragic fate.
Ni hao. We're not in China. You know, it's based on Chinese stuff.
Oh, who cares? It was made... It's Chinese in lore, it's Chinese. I don't care if it's made by Japanese. But that's racist, but don't you hate them? So aren't you racist yourselves?
Official No Name said about the two characters, Ted and Odessa, that's sad, I love them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. About what happened to them? Oh, yeah, of course.
Bad Gamer said he would give his kid a middle name of Guy, but not Guy from Final Fight. So now I'm confused. That's the only guy I know.
Exactly.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. No, I do know the one other guy, Guy Shishio.
And
from Gao Gaigar.
And remember Mike Guy from Naruto.
Gao Gaigar.
Now you're making me think of Ultra Instinct Goku's theme when you say that.
Well, that guy who sings it is a very Super Robot Wars singer, so
no wonder.
Robot singer. So that's why when I first said I was like, wait a minute, that sounds familiar. Official No Name asked if any of us played Suikoden 4. I
have
3 and 4. Those were the only 2 I played.
I have played 4, and sadly
4's the one nobody likes.
Yeah,
I played 2 and 3.
But sadly,
I haven't even touched 4.
I do have it on my PSN. But the thing is, yeah, it's just like it really makes it hard.
One of these days, you should do a self-hating playthrough of it.
Oh God.
Oh yeah. April 1st next year.
Oh boy! If I don't have to go to work if I don't have to go to work that night, then consider it done.
Awesome.
Starshell said he's beaten all 5. Suikodens, he means. And Ricky Morrow's his favorite character in Part 2.
Yeah, Suikoden 2. Not Ricky Morrow from the Tenchu series, although he is a really awesome character too.
And he's in the middle of Suikoden Tactics right now.
Yes, Suikoden Tactics.
Remember Fallout Tactics?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that the actually good one, though?
Yes.
Because Brotherhood of Steel was a bad one, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fallout Tactics was pretty cool.
Yeah, Brotherhood of Steel was the...
Fallout Tactics Brotherhood of Steel.
Well, official no name. It's just the thing with Suikoden 4 with its pirate sea theme. I mean, it's not. It was a really good concept, but it's just its execution was flawed, especially when it comes to traveling around the island nations on a ship. It's like it was slow and tedious, and not to mention that the character names did not even sound very fantasy-like, except for one. And the thing is that it just seemed like it was way too basic of a plot line to actually hold up really well to what the original creator of Suikoden did for every single game, with how the writing was just really, really spot on.
Fallout Tactics is the one that's still canon to the... Sorry, I hate that word. It's still part of the continuity of Fallout.
Yes.
Not to be Now, it even... You know what's funny? It even says it in the wiki article. Not to be confused with the crappy Fallout Brotherhood of Steel. Because they both have Brotherhood of Steel in the name, but one is Tactics Brotherhood of Steel, the other one is just Brotherhood of Steel.
Yeah.
That's the one to avoid. Tactics is the good one because they still mention it in 4 and 3, I believe. Like, oh yeah, we've got a Brotherhood of Steel group in Chicago.
Now you're making me think of Sonic Chronicles of the Dark Brotherhood.
Ugh.
Now you're making me think of a better game, Legacy of Kain.
Yes.
Which one? All of them?
The entire series, yeah.
Which I still have. I still have Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver. On both.
What's the chat saying, Jeff? I missed.
It's official no name says I do own a physical copy of Suikoden 1 through 5 plus Tactics. Paid like $1,000 for them.
Wow.
Yeah, that's quite a gold mine to come across their official no name. And Star Child says.
Yeah.
Star Child says, yeah, I've gotten every one of all the Suikoden games I've beaten.
Oh, cool.
Oh, but he also says, official no name said earlier, he likes Suikoden 4, and Starchild actually said it wasn't so bad. It just was a drastic departure from the previous games.
Mm-hmm.
Which is true. I did play it, obviously, so obviously I didn't hate it. But,
like I said, that the stuff that the ideas they had going for, they were great ideas, and I did like the whole theme with what they were going for. But it's just there were so many things that I just felt that they experimented on that just didn't work out well.
Oh yeah, understandable completely.
Like the tactical battles, for instance. Like you're basically playing like Battleship with the tactical battles. But the thing is that they just the way how you play them, they're very, very basic.
Right. Since we're talking about games, if there's one game I'm really looking forward to, and I'm not gonna lie, this is the only release I am really looking forward to in the near future. The only game I'm truly looking forward to that I'm buying day one is Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, Cyberpunk?
Mm-hmm.
Although, probably this year, or this November, the one game I'm actually looking forward to pick up is Darksiders 3.
Wow. So, official no name and Bad Gamer said that they paid around $350 for a complete copy of Suikoden 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which sounds right.
Yeah, it does.
It's one of those hard. Starchild has a lot of rare games for PS1 and Super Nintendo.
Oh God, yes. But you would definitely need.
I'm like, keep them.
Yeah, you know what? You would definitely need a lot of money if you want to get a lot of the really rare games that are on the Saturn, because they go for gangbusters.
Oh,
Starchild said, Starchild actually got lucky. He said he got Suikoden 2 for free.
Oh, really?
Man, you are lucky there, Starchild.
I'm curious, how did he get it for free?
Somebody must have, traded or gave him a copy as a donation or something.
I imagine, yeah. If that's the case, then dang, good on you, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like a diamond in the rough to get it for free in this day and age.
Hello, Jishtar. If we're pronouncing the name right, I apologize. Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the stream.
I guess I'm lucky. I still have my OG copies of 1 and 2. Yes.
Oh, yes, you are.
Very lucky.
Oh, yes.
Extremely lucky.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we have to go to Mount Seifu to deal with some bandits. Even though
he said that's right. Good, because sometimes I don't know.
Cool.
This guy's name is Kanan. Shut up. I was about to ask you.
Kanan or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, like I said, the names of the characters in all the games except for 4, except for one character's name in 4, they all sound very, very just fantasy and just like really creative.
Not Chinese.
Really creative. Yes. And definitely Chinese.
Definitely not Chinese. Damn.
Yeah. Definitely not Chinese.
My Laosher definitely never had a name like that. Kanan.
Kanan.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. You say tomato, I say tomato, right?
I'm just saying Canaan because I'm thinking of the Canaanites in the Bible.
Oh yeah.
And they spell it like that. Just. Starchild said, I let a guy borrow my .hack infection for PS2, and he let me borrow Suikoden 2. Then I never saw him again.
Oh,
that's how.
Dang.
That reminds me of how that kid stole my copy of Final Fight 3 because we borrowed each other games. I asked him, "Hey, where's Final Fight 3?" 'Cause that's a rare game too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He said, "I gave it to you already," I never saw it again.
What a liar.
Yeah, but in Suikoden 4, did I ever get Ted, the character who I have in my party? Yes, I did. I managed to get all 108 stars of Destiny in that game, but I never got around to beat it for some odd reason.
Does this game do the thing where you get all those characters, but you're only gonna pick the ones you like?
What do you mean?
Like, you better just stick with the ones you like because everybody else doesn't level.
Oh, okay. I
With
get
the
it.
rest of
Oh
the
yes, that's going to be more. That's going to be more of a thing for me when it comes to this game.
Okay.
Might as well, right? So that way we don't drag it on too long.
Bad Gamer said that's how I got my copy of Mega Man Extreme 2. Official no name said I really enjoyed that.
Oh, Mega Man Extreme
Bad-
2, the Mega Man X
Bad
spinoff
Gamer,
on the Game Boy Color, as well as its sequel.
Right.
Bad Gamer said he borrowed it, but then the dude moved away, so couldn't give it back.
Oh.
So in Bad Gamer's case, he wasn't being a jerk. He just literally couldn't give it back.
So that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And Star Child said, "Yeah, you have to level everyone."
Well, I mean,
That's my
level
problem.
everyone that that I decide to play with.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You better just pick who you like and just stick with them.
Yeah. But there are segments in the game where even if you have a low-level character and you have them in the back, then you can actually grind them a lot fast because of the amount of experience points that you'll get in the later sections of the game. So think of it more kind of like, what's a good word to say? That describes that...
Experience share, like in Pokemon?
Yeah, something like that, or just think of those places as like insurance, where...
Oh, yeah, okay.
You can actually
Yeah,
grind
I got
other
you.
characters
Yeah.
on a better whim, basically.
Definitely got
No
that.
name, official no name has 2 questions.
Hmm?
What party do you usually go for? And who's your totally number one favorite character?
If you can only choose one. Which game do you say party I usually go for? If you're talking about this game... Oh, boy.
I'm gonna assume this game.
Okay,
Yeah.
This game. Well, man, that is a good question. Well, I really don't specifically have a favorite that I stick with all the way through, but I always end up going with the main character as well as his beginning traveling entourage in this game, as well as Victor and Flick. But if I had to say which character is my favorite in the entire series, or which character in a Suikoden game is my favorite in the entire series, then it's definitely George Prime from both Suikoden 2 and who is the main character in 5.
I never played 1 and 2. I've seen them, so I can't answer. Matter of fact, Double R asked me the question, who's my favorite character?
Who's your favorite character?
The duck guy.
Oh, the Sarge or whatever?
There you go.
Howard, yeah, Sergeant Lombardi. That was his name. The duck guy.
Howard the Duck's cousin.
Yes. The one who's basically a sergeant who's stuck with Hugo all the way through in Suikoden 3.
Right.
Which, that's also very interesting about these games in general. They have they usually tend to have a different race of, like, anthropomorphic creatures. Like, I think
Hey,
it's...
Jeff,
it's kobolds in this game, and then they
can
have...
you, go ahead.
Then they have, like, the winged people in... Or the humanoid people with wings in Suikoden 2, and then they have the Duck Clan in Suikoden 3. And then...
Yeah. Can you read what Bad Gamer Star Child said about Suikoden 1 and about Bad Gamer's controller thing? So I have a feeling you'll do it justice.
Where does it start? Right under official no name?
Star Child said about the Suikoden 1 transfer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
the thing is that if you get to the end of the game and you can actually do a near the end of the game or at the end of the game, if you manage to get that far, then if you transfer your save data over to Suikoden 2, then you can actually get the main character in this game to actually be a temporary playable character in an event.
That's like a prototype DLC.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So Bad Gamer talked about controllers. I want you to read that, Jeff.
Okay, about controllers?
Yeah, he says many times he.
Okay, right there. Many times he would actually go to the console just to switch controls to make sure he was player one.
And then he says in the latest chat.
And would often use "This is my home. I make the rules, and I'm the guest." Oh yeah.
But Starchild, to answer your question about George being hinted at being the eye patch character in Suikoden 3 named Ghetto, I find that debatable, because if you play the end of Suikoden 5, you see George take his eye patch off and he doesn't have it anymore. So saying that he is Ghetto in Suikoden 3, I can't really see the evidence lining up that well right there, if you ask me. Not saying that it is, but like I said, I really don't even... I just can't see the evidence lining up together to where I could say, yeah, it is him, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a very interesting theory. I would often use "This is my home, I make the rules, and I'm the guest," is what Bad Gamer says.
His friend that he took a Mega Man from.
Yeah. Oh, dang it.
So that's why he doesn't regret keeping his copy of Mega Man Extreme 2.
Yeah.
So that guy was a jerk anyways. Okay.
Yeah.
And just like the problem with Earthbound, you only have limited item space for every character. Which is something I do not like in RPGs in general, when you have limited space for every character when they carry items.
Same thing with friggin' even like you said, RPGs in general, because friggin' Bethesda loves that crap.
Oh yeah,
you are over encumbered.
Yeah, like Western RPGs are really notorious for that. I mean, they can be done correctly if done right, but it's just...
Sometimes it's just annoying,
Yeah, it's really annoying.
Every time, I'm always over encumbered. Well, I need this stuff I'm carrying, and I need that sword, too. Come on!
Yeah.
I need to carry both, bruh!
This is why I enjoy games where, you have, when you have a menu where the inventory spaces are a lot bigger.
That's why, oddly enough, the current Pokemon games actually do that, right? With inventory. Believe it or not, Pokemon actually does something right.
Like I said, it seems like it's the limited inventory space. It seems like it's a more prevalent thing with Western RPGs in this day and age.
It is, yeah. Bethesda love that crap, man. It's like, dude, I need to craft, and Fallout as well, because you need to craft. You need all the junk so you can craft mods, weapon mods and stuff, to make your weapon stronger. But then it's like, but you can't carry this much stuff.
Yeah.
Bad Gamer, Gen 1 Pokemon inventory space.
Oh,
yeah. Not like this.
Yeah.
No, not like Gen 1. No, the current gens do it right because they have more space and it's all categorized. That's why I like it.
And heck,
each
even
pocketed backpack is something.
Even Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars had that same problem. I mean, even though you could carry up to 30 items in your item screen, it's like they still weren't, compressed together to where their quantity keeps going up and up and up, just to keep everything compressed. No, they were still individualized.
You know what's crazy? I didn't even notice how much time flies. We only got half hour left.
Yeah.
I know.
That's wow. That's good.
Yeah, it is.
We are making some good progress. But we will But we will not get our own castle just yet. That will probably be by the time after we get back. Well, after we get back from Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that's what I meant by next time. The following weekend, obviously.
Starchild says he has Super Mario RPG, but he never really got into it.
Really?
I can understand. There are some people.
Yeah, it's not. It's just not as.
There are some games like that with everyone. You know what I mean? There's some games,
there's some
shows,
exactly.
Anime, manga, comics.
There's some games that everyone love, but I like, and I'm just like, no. Heck, The Last of Us, the first one,
Oh God, we
telling-
never talk about that.
Well, it's because they kept telling my dad to play it, and my dad's like, it's not for me. And they're like, you gotta play it. My dad's like, hey, fine, I'll play it.
He hated it, right?
And he was like, whatever.
If I
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
play it, leave me alone.
Yeah, exactly. He beat it too. He didn't have to beat it.
See, this is what I hate about. See, there's no such thing as fans or fanboys because what it is today, it's kind of the same thing where people like him to say that there's such a thing as reverse racism when it's nothing more than just blatant racism.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no such thing as fans or even fanboys these days. You know what it really is? Mob mentality.
And didn't Black Sabbath have a song about that?
Yeah.
When it's run by fools, the mob rules.
Yep.
It's a
Mob
warning.
rules. Yeah.
Bad Gamer says he prefers Paper Mario over Super Mario RPG.
I agree. Like I like Legend of Seven Stars. It's a phenomenal collaboration between Squeenix and Nintendo, but I think Paper Mario is the better game, to be honest.
Darkshaw said he's been going through Super Mario World for the past few days.
Mm.
Are you trying to get all 96 levels?
Oh God.
Now, if you want to know what my favorite game is out of the Mario and Luigi series, it's definitely the original Superstar Saga.
I was just gonna say that, Double R. You can't steal my answer.
Too late.
Oh, Mario and Luigi. Yeah, that's
my favorite
That's
still.
a classic. Yeah.
Even though
GK
Bowser's Inside Story is, neck and
This
neck
is a
in
better
my
game.
it's neck and neck in my opinion. Both
Yeah,
those games.
I still prefer Superstar Saga.
No,
But
I
yeah,
agree.
I had
Superstar
so
Saga,
much
I definitely still prefer it. Yes.
That's the thing I was agreeing with you guys. Like, I think 3 is the better game, but I still prefer the original.
Mhm.
Hands down.
But then
Bad
after
Gamer said
that,
that was also my answer. Darn it!
but then after that, it's
You
just
stole mine and Bad Gamer's answer.
well,
Yeah.
you're welcome, guys. But the thing is that it's just the Mario and Luigi RPGs have really gone downhill after Bowser's Inside Story
Yeah.
Hmm.
because it's Nintendo urging them to milk a new Mario and Luigi RPG about every few years.
Well, I think the main problem is that they're not really RPGs these days. They're just like action games. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah, exactly.
It's like the same problem with the mainline Paper Mario games as well too. That they're no longer RPGs. They're just the same thing. They're just glorified action games. You know what I mean? There's no role playing anymore in these particular Mario properties.
And we definitely know who to blame. And we definitely know who to blame for that. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Miyamoto.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing it no longer has main development overseeing games anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, now he's just playing creative fellow, so that way he can just watch from the sidelines.
It's like the same thing I was just talking about with mob mentality. These are the same guys who like to say that they're historians in regards to Nintendo, yet they didn't tend to forget that a game that had a lot of promise, and this is a game I liked after it was changed. Remember?
I laughed at Star Child.
Oh, Star Child.
Remember when Star Fox Adventures was originally
Mario
Dinosaur Planet?
Yes.
Yep.
And Miyamoto said, "This looks good, but it'd be better if it had the Star Fox IP in it." I feel like in most cases, Miyamoto liked to destroy his own games for just some stupid reasons. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think even though Mario's missing, those were those educational games, right?
Yeah, the edutainment ones.
Yeah, the edutainment. Yeah.
Now, whether or not they're bad, both of those are rare too, aren't they?
Oh
God, yes.
Extremely.
So Star Child, you have this stockpile of just rare legendary games. I don't know why or how.
Although if you do get the Japanese versions, they just go for less than a gold mine.
It's funny. Japanese versions of a lot of rare games are way less.
Yeah,
less rare
like Chrono Trigger. I managed to get it in box and with manual and cartridge for $10 off either Amazon or eBay.
Actually, that's a good question. Which game is more expensive in that regard, Chrono Trigger or Chrono Cross?
Trigger
because of the box.
Oh,
Why
the box copy.
Because Toriyama drew it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the box makes it more expensive.
Look, I like Trigger, but I'm one of those fans that prefer Cross over Trigger.
Yeah, and I remember. Oh man, you should have been with us last week when we did our finale of El Shaddai because Because Lord Doom, aka Negative Zen, he expressed his discontent and his distaste of Chrono Cross.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, it would have been a great time for you and him to debate during that episode.
Well, not really, because in these days, debate me is just like, oh, I'm right, you're wrong, and it's just like,
well, no, it's just more.
I'm saying not him. I'm saying the general consensus, dude. You know what I mean? Like him, I know better. You know what I mean? I know him better. Like he wouldn't pull that, but it's just like the general consensus. So continue.
Star Child says the last Super Nintendo game he got recently was Secret of Evermore.
Oh man. No, that's supposed to be a spin-off to Secret of Mana.
Yep.
But it was done by Squaresoft's American branch.
And the only game, sadly, because I gotta tell you, I like Secret of Mana, but again, I'm one of those people that like the successor over the original. I think Evermore is a better game.
That's good me.
Let me know when you want.
Bad Gamer said
what did you think was the better game? Seiken Densetsu 3?
No. It's Evermore. Yeah.
The Bad Gamer said he has Battle Arena Toshinden, which, yes, 1, 2, and 3.
Never rare game, all rare, right?
Those were launch title fighters for PS1. That was like what gave PS1 some.
Wow.
Yeah. Nowadays, people like make fun of them, but no, those are not. Well, Star Child says, yeah.
Let's be blunt, really, too. The reason why they're making fun of them is not because of their own influences, but it's because of YouTube influencers like the Spoony one, Angry Joe. You know, people who know about gaming, which they really don't. Hi, Jim.
Star Child, Jum, as I call him. Star Child says they have Street Fighter vs. X-Men for PS1. Funny enough, that's the inferior game compared to the Saturn version.
Yeah.
And you know what the funny thing is? A lot of people would accuse you of influencing me to becoming the bigger Sega fan. That's not true. Well, I became more of the bigger Sega fan when the Saturn came out because it had the better arcade ports compared to PlayStation.
Yes.
Like, I love PlayStation and Saturn equally. They're both great consoles.
Yeah.
N64, on the other hand, looking back without roasting classes, is a bad console. And I don't care if people disagree with that.
I'm going to read these chats and then I'm going to explain why the Saturn was better.
Please do so.
So, Star Child says he has the Battle Arena Toshinden anime. Yes, there was.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was. And speaking of
Star said, yeah.
I was going to say, and speaking of Chrono Trigger, going back to that, did you guys also know there was a OVA for that game? That was a prequel.
What?
Yeah, there was a original video animation for Chrono Trigger, but it was more like I think it was more like a Shonen Jump type of, or a Jump Festa type of OVA that...
Oh, one of those specials.
Yeah, one of those specials that came out right by around the time when Chrono Trigger came out in Japan. But so it took place like a day before, when the actual events of the game started in the present time, but like all the game's monsters came to the Gardia Millennial Fair to cause shenanigans.
Yeah. So Jishstar said there was Vandal Hearts 1 and 2 here, remembers. Those were good games. Vandal Hearts, remember that?
Oh yeah. Who doesn't remember Vandal Hearts?
Bad Gamer says about Toshinden, they are bad, but I like them for the nostalgia. I don't know. They're fine. They're not terrible. I mean, they're not great. Starshaw says he has Vandal Hearts for PS1, and that he has heard of the Chrono Trigger OVA, and that the Japanese PSN store has Vandal Hearts 1 and 2. Again, Japan gets all these good games. So now, what I was going to do, I'm going to explain why the Saturn versions of these games kick so much butt.
Go ahead.
Specifically with just the Street Fighter vs. X-Men game. So on the PS1 version, right? Remember Street Fighter vs. X-Men was the first Marvel crossover game.
Mm-hmm.
The whole big thing about it was what? Tag teams, right? Tagging it out. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Street Fighter vs. X-Men on the PS1 took out tagging. That's one of the things. So you have regular one-on-one fights that take away the whole thing of it being a tag versus game. PS1 version has longer load times. PS1 version has gimped background animation and missing frames of animation for the characters.
Yep.
And I believe the PS1 version also didn't have such good cutscene quality. I don't remember quite well. But the 5 things I mentioned before are true. The Saturn version has everything intact. It is literally arcade perfect.
Yeah.
The animation is there. You get the versus tag system. You get the backgrounds. They all look great. Same thing with Street Fighter Alpha 2. Street Fighter Alpha 2 on the PS1 had longer load times and missing frames of animation.
And you can correct me if I'm wrong, Jerry, but wasn't this due mainly to horrible limitations on the PlayStation 1's end?
Yeah. The Saturn also had that megabyte cartridge that
yes.
You could
For
add
extra
more
RAM,
RAM,
yes.
which was awesome. Also, the Street Fighter Alpha 2 version on the PS1 is very, very compressed video. When you watch the intro attract mode thing they show when you start the game,
Yes.
the PS1 version is compressed to crap.
Yep.
The Saturn version of all those cutscenes, or whatever if you want to call them cutscenes for fighting games.
If you want to call them cutscenes, nice.
For those days, fighting games.
Right, of course.
But the Saturn version was uncompressed and looked just as good as the arcade. And again, Saturn version of Marvel Superheroes also had, with the RAM cart, you could have more frames of animation, just like basically arcade perfect again if you have the RAM cart. Starchild says he has a Saturn but no games for it. Bruh, I'm gonna type some games right now. I'm gonna type some games right now that are probably cheap and not, well, I don't know if they're cheap, but good games.
They should be cheap.
Well, I don't know about cheap, but good games to track down. I hope they're cheap.
Well, cheap is compared to like the bigger ones. I'm saying. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are obscure, not obscure, but
Speaking of expensive.
By the way, thanks Jishstar for coming around.
Yes, thank you very much.
Hope we'll see you next time.
Oh, definitely.
Thank you for sticking around.
Absolutely. Be sure to follow us if you haven't done so already.
Yes. I'm writing down a list of Saturn games for you, Starchild.
Yes, I know you, dude. You definitely are.
Thank you, Jishstar. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Jistar. We're having dinner and it's raining outside. In-game rain.
Yeah, so like typical day in Seattle.
Some of those good Saturn games now. Shoot.
Yeah, if you guys don't...
There's an RPG. Go ahead.
If you guys if you guys are curious as to why I can't see the chat, it's because I restarted Twitch for the Twitch app.
Starchild says the reason why he doesn't have a lot of Saturn games is because every time he checks the Saturn section, it's just sports games that they have at that store.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Gex.
And Gex. Lol.
Don't forget Gex.
Well, Gex is actually a good game, though.
Oh,
yeah, it is.
Oh, Ted, what happened to you, man?
Life.
No, just look at the stream.
No, I'm just joking, man.
Oh, okay. But yeah, you could say life with the way how he's limped on the ground. But
I'm
yeah,
still writing
this is what official No Name was talking about, the tragic outcome that's coming for this character, basically.
That's the thing I don't like about supporting characters. It's like, if they're supposed to be destined to have a tragedy or destined to die, then why would you have secondary characters to begin with in your story?
These are just a few of the... These are ones... Like, these are not the obvious ones, Starchild. These are the ones that get overlooked, but are still really good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, except for Nights in the Dreams. Everybody knows that one.
Of course.
But there you go. I sent it into the chat.
Oh yeah, Daytona USA, absolutely.
Oh, Guardian Heroes definitely, but
yes,
but also Magic Knight Ray Earth.
you actually forgot one too, dude.
I didn't forget any. I just put a small list.
Oh, okay.
because I was gonna say Night Warriors, Darkstalkers.
Oh yes. Daytona, as
But
Bad Gamer says.
None of you know Princess Crown.
Oh yes, Princess Crown.
I know
That was
successor on the 3DS.
that Princess Crown, wasn't that made by George Kamitami?
Yes.
Yes.
Very much a spiritual predecessor to Dragon's Crown.
As well as others like Odin Sphere too. But yeah, more a spiritual successor to Dragon's Crown, mostly. Yes.
Game over, yeah! That's the best game over stream
Yes,
ever.
it is. Yes, it is.
Oh, also Sega Rally, if you haven't.
Oh yeah, like I love.
I never got a Saturn, but the reason why I know so much, my uncle had one.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to play his Saturn. He had my favorite game, of course. What do you think? Virtua Fighter 2.
Yes.
That was the that was the game. Every time I was like, let's play Virtua Fighter 2.
You can never go wrong. You can never go wrong with that game, right, Jer?
By the way, Virtua Fighter 2, legit, of that era on console, best looking fighter. But you know what's really the best looking fighter of that era?
What?
It wasn't on console until the next generation. But in arcades, it was already out in arcades in 1996, and it looks amazing still. For 96, it looks like Dreamcast graphics.
Mm-hmm.
And that is Virtua Fighter 3.
Oh yeah.
I am not kidding. Look up the arcade version. Remind yourself that this is 1996, and you'll be blown away. But like, what do you mean? This is Dreamcast PS2 graphics. It's crazy how they were able to do that.
Agreed.
It looked like PS2 while we're still in the beginning of PS1's life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that Sega wasn't like... And then people say that the Dreamcast version of 3 sucked. But I just saw a side-by-side comparison of both of them on YouTube. And just like everybody watching that video said, wait a minute. They look just about the same. The Dreamcast version was pretty faithful to the arcade.
Well, yeah, because wasn't it based off the Naomi board, the same board that powered that
yes, exactly. So people saying that the Dreamcast version sucked. I don't know what they're smoking.
No, they don't. They're smoking. It's called stupidity.
Oh, the Dreamcast version sucks. It's the same game, legit. I saw them side by side.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is the backgrounds.
You know, it's kind of sad that Sega was the 90s equivalent to where Xbox is these days, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, everything sucks from Microsoft. It's the same like how
even though
Sega was back in the 90s. Come on, guys.
That guy's name is Pan, which is very close to Parn from Loto.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're saying, Jeff?
I was just saying the last thing we need in this industry is more shills, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we have that enough in the FGC, don't we, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I can't believe it's been a year. Speaking of which, I can't believe it's been a year already since the release of Marvel's Capcom.
We've got about 8 minutes, so...
Yeah.
I guess whenever you get to save, and then we should plug.
Yeah, definitely.
So, in the chat, for those of you who are still left in the chat, I don't know if anybody's still here, but, hey, got any questions for us that we can... about the game or whatever?
Definitely leave us your comments, on any more questions that we could answer for you. Eat. Yes, it's almost dinner time for me.
Well, me too.
So,
That's what I think. Star Child said, I think it's because of the Dreamcast RF modulator. I wish it had the AV.
mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, the R... Well, yeah, we used to use the RF back then, yeah, because... Yeah, but it looks... Yeah, the Dreamcast version is actually not so different from the arcade at all. Like, the only noticeable difference is the backgrounds. And by the background, I don't mean the stage. I mean the sky in the background. It's like the way back, the background. On the Dreamcast version, like the sky is purple, but like the character models look the same. But Star Child also brought up a good point. Maybe they say it's crap because the Dreamcast had it wasn't really the game, but it was like the TV, the video quality.
Right.
Which in that case, it's not really the Dreamcast's fault. It's the game's fault. It's the video quality that they used.
Yeah. It's not the game's fault. It's just the limitations of the console, basically.
I mean, only so few games were Dreamcast supported VGA
Right.
mode. Shenmue was one of them, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And so was Guilty Gear. Yes, the original Guilty Gear. Starchild said he'll have to pull out his Suikoden games. He has the art books and 2 music CDs.
Ah,
Right.
now that's
and
pretty cool.
strategy guides for 4 and 5.
Dang.
Nice.
Suikoden 5, when recruiting the 108 Stars of Destiny, that one was a bit more challenging to try and get all 108 characters, from what I remember. So that was one of those games where you definitely needed a strategy guide to figure out how to recruit all the characters in order to get the good ending of that game.
Right.
Starchild says he has the PS1 version of the original Guilty Gear, which
Okay.
is still a good game.
Oh,
Did you know
nice.
that the original Guilty Gear was just Daisuke Ishiwatari by himself?
Yep.
Yep.
That's nuts. That's how much passion he had. He's just, I don't
Speaking
care,
of
I'll
which,
do it by myself.
Speaking of which, that's getting a re-release courtesy of Arc System themselves early next year for both PS4, Nintendo Switch, and PC, right?
Yes.
The OG Guilty Gear, right? Yeah.
Starchild said, yeah, 5 was pretty hard because you could miss a lot of people.
Mm.
I can't hear double R.
What?
Yeah.
Oh! You know why? Because I
Why?
was watching the stream and I'm seeing your mouth move, but I forgot that's a delay, so...
Yeah, that is.
Earlier.
I don't know
Sounds
why
like
it's causing delays as of recent, but it's
That's
not
Twitch.
me. Yeah, it
Yeah,
is
it's not-
Twitch.
Download
Switch.
Switch, huh, guys?
The way Twitch is dealing. Bad Gamer said, mighty impressive for one guy making all that. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
He even did the voices.
Yeah, now that...
did
even
the
the
music-
female ones?
Yes.
Dang.
That reminds me of when they were... There's a documentary video of how they made King of Fighters 2006, a.k.a. Maximum Impact.
Yeah.
And they did the animation through motion capture, right?
Yep.
One of the motion capture for the females, she got hurt or sick. So to finish up the motion capture, the guy they were motion capturing, who did Terry Bogart's motion capture, did the girls, and it wasn't just one of the girls. It was like Athena, who's like super girly, and he had to do all the movements for them to capture. Athena, ikimasu. So we got a plug?
Yep.
Yep, you might as well go ahead and plug while we are still going on with this until we get to a save spot.
Starchild said Evil Zone is a cool PS1 game. My friend, it's silly, but it's fun. Yeah, exactly. Bad Gamer is being in awe of Guilty Gear, and Jeff, you have not as much to plug, so go first.
No, I don't. You can follow me on Twitter at twitters.com/16jeff. For the people who know on our Discord but not on stream, I am taking a hiatus from streaming until the start of the new year due to the fact because there's a lot of stuff I need to get done on my end, both personally and privately with my family, but also mainly because I think it started, I didn't really realize until the more was pushed on Twitch before I switched to YouTube. I'm just completely burned out of streaming, so I just need to get some rejuvenation on my end to just come back for the new year. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But when I do come back, you can check me out over at youtube.com, which is for the time being gaming.youtube.com/16bitjeff. I said for the time being because it sounds like they're absorbing YouTube gaming into YouTube proper. So when that eventually happens in the new year, just I'll provide a link to my YouTube channel in the bottom of the GeekFighters channel itself, so you guys can check it out when I do eventually come back. And yes, I will be continuing The Witcher 3 next year. So look forward to that. Jared?
Double R, you go.
Okay,
I'll go
well, you can follow me on twitch.tv/RPG Reviews. I'm going to be streaming more Trails of Cold Steel 2 tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, which I do for Fridays and Saturdays. And for Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, they're at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And you can also follow me on youtube.com/RPG Reviews for my created content. I'm currently doing my Final Fantasy retrospective series, working on Final Fantasy 12 and all games related at this point. Follow me on social media through facebook.com/RPG Reviews and twitter.com/RPG Reviews. The social media site for Facebook, that's my fan page, and of course my regular on, on Twitter. But yeah, be sure to be on the lookout for more content coming not only from us, the Geek Fighters here on Twitch, but also be sure to look out for more content coming from me on both Twitch and YouTube. That's from me, that you won't even find anywhere else. And I definitely had a lot of fun with this today, and I'm definitely looking forward to us playing Ghostbusters, the video game, when we come to that next week. Mm-hmm. And I managed to get to the save spot right now, and we might as well...
Okay, my turn?
Yes, might as well go ahead and get your say in.
I'm on hiatus, just like how Jeff is. I've been on hiatus for streaming until next year, but I still make content. I still do YouTube, youtube.com/Brad Burns Rival, because I can't change my name. My URL, I did change my name. It's still Fighter Cows. You can just search Fighter Cows on YouTube or go to Brad Burns Rival through the URL, youtube.com. Also, if you're on my Twitch, you can still check out all my social media links there. Or you can just look up Fighter Chaos. Fighter XAOS, all one word. It's the same on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Check out my webcomics on Tapas. Just search for New Courage or Mixtape on tapas.io. That's Tapas, Tapas.io. Search for New Courage or Mixtape. Those are my webcomics there. I still make those regularly, so that's my content for now, along with whatever YouTube content I make for now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's me. Just search Fighter Cows wherever you are.
All right. So anyway, guys, we hope you really enjoyed today's first episode of Suikoden. We will return back to this in November after October. As we said, we'll be starting Ghostbusters, the video game, on the PC next week. And we hope you join us at the same time as today at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. So to sign off, I'm Double RPG.
16-bit Jeff.
And I'm Fighter Cows.
And we have our main man, Fighter Cows, creator of the Geek Fighters, to sign us off with 2 special words for you all.
Nimyo. Kanyo.
Peace out, people.
See you guys next weekend for Ghostbusters.
Bye-bye.